VR chat, my positive place. So I decided to make this documentary so friends and people I know in the wonderful world of VR chat can express their stories of positivity and great experiences. I've had some great experiences myself. I made some absolutely amazing and wonderful friends, and I thought I'd make this documentary to allow you to hear those stories, not just from myself, but from others. So sit back, grab yourself your favourite beverage, and enjoy.
Hello, my name is Admiral Midnight. I am a mod for Soaring Fitness. I'm a very friendly guy. I like to hang out with friends. I've been playing VR chat for almost 2-3 years now, and it's had a very big impact on my life. I made many friends on here, and I even run my own group on here called the Kansas Empire, which we do group public instances, we moderate instances, and we just try to have a good time and meet new people and hang out with friends. It brings a lot of positivity to the community. I mean, I've met so many friendly faces on here. It's helped with my mental health. I've had a lot of friends there to support me. I've made a lot of friends, because before VR chat, I didn't have very many people to hang out with. I was pretty lonely, and mental health wasn't exactly very stable back then. It's had a big impact on my life because I met so many amazing people on here. It's even helped improve my mental health because it helped me overcome social anxiety. Another thing too is that, yes, there can be people out there that can be pretty rude or pretty downright toxic, but to be honest, just don't socialize with those people. Your friends are the ones that stick by you no matter what happens, especially when you're upset or when something happens.
Hello, I'm Lumius. I'm 21 years old and I've been playing VR chat for half a year now. It's helped me a lot through dark, difficult times. I found some friends. Some of them I even met in real life. A beautiful bunch. And it helped me getting back on my feet again, believing in myself, with the support of my friends. And the community is amazing. If we ignore the usual drama in every other community, it's can't even describe with words. It's so helpful, so understanding. Really good. It's changed my life for the better. I wouldn't know where I would be without it. Or even if I would be here.
Hello, I am Landfiskalen, one VR chat user and occasional content creator for Unity-based modeling and stuff. And I am 24 years old and I'm from Sweden. I could have gone into VR chat a lot earlier than I would have really done. Or what actually happened. I remember first hearing about VR chat as an application back in 2018 with the Uganda Knuckles meme. And that kind of threw me off a little bit, because I thought it would be more like, oh, it's more of a less like serious player base. You know, gave me some pretty quick early impressions. But eventually, after a furry convention in Sweden in 2023, in the spring, a good friend of mine told me about VR chat again. And good thing being that they were a good friend of mine, because they convinced me to try it. And eventually, just about a year later, here I am. On VR chat, I am a purple deer, as my fursuit and Sona is as well. So it kind of matches itself. Well, VRChat to me kind of surprised me when getting into it. I only knew about one person going into VRChat as an application, so I never really had any people that I immediately could go to. And I think that was one of the best introductions to VRChat ever, because then I was in the early months among a lot of public instances and areas, and that was a bit of an onslaught of all manner of variety, good or bad, and eventually, as luck would have it, I eventually found some very interesting groups that had a genuine regularity to itself. For example, like Friday Night Madness, and almost as a coincidence, it happened. Now, what do I do in VRChat? Well, I occasionally go on to VRChat. Usually these days it is at least once a week. And as it now stands, it is merely to hang out with people that I've gotten to know through VRChat, or some people I know in real life that we maintain contact through VRChat. The application to me was definitely far from what I thought of the first impressions of a meme thing back in 2018. A genuine tool to get to know people and definitely stay in contact more than just text and voice through a microphone. VRChat adds a little bit of an extra layer that makes it more convincing to me, I would like to claim. And also, luckily, VRChat, while there are stereotypes, of course, has a wonderful variety of personalities and individuals on it. Lots of events and, well, just a lot of interesting people overall. One of the most important things in VRChat that I've had is the fact that, according to some people I've gotten to know here, they have been in much less fortunate situations than I find myself in. And me being one of the first people that invited them to use VRChat, I've gotten to know in posts that it helped them in a very profound way, and especially considering cases of, well, being in a less than mentally well state, and using VRChat as a form of increasing their contacts and interactions definitely helps to stave off the worst of that. And I know a few examples myself that I would never expect to help people that much in my life. That makes me think back, and eventually meeting them in real life as well, as a fair few of them are in the furry community. It's been very interesting to see that just being able to meet them at larger social events outside of VRChat afterwards has been kind of like a confirmation to me that perhaps this is just more than a social application and or a game at the end of the day. Helps increase interaction with, well, these kinds of people that might not have the most fortunate of circumstances when it comes to those things. Now, I already do a lot of drawing, and as I got into VRChat, I definitely have gotten to learn a lot more about 3D modeling and working with models and programming more in general. It's been also a great tool of learning in the motivational sense. I've been able to apply some of my skills to a handful of commissions that I've been able to essentially draw on avatars as well and do that. So it has widened my field of doing art in general, trying to get better at doing the 3D texturing as well. There's been many things. Personally, I think that for me, VRChat has been extremely interesting socially. I've been able to meet people who that I would never be able to meet locally, and definitely also stay in contact with people from afar in a more convincing manner. As lastly, my thoughts about VR chat is it definitely enhances the social interactivity between people. For example, for myself and my friend that recommended me VR chat last spring, it's a lot easier to stay in touch with the people, as I previously mentioned, the convincing aspect of VR chat makes it more genuine almost, in a way, even if one has to keep in mind that it still is a program. But for example, after certain conventions where you might meet a lot of people, and if they have, for example, this application, whether be it VR or through desktop, it still helps to stay in touch and keep up regularity a lot better than text. While myself, I'm not too convinced sometimes with the VR. VR chat definitely has an extra layer to it, where all of a sudden you're more. Well, it feels a lot more than just a voice through for example, Discord chat and/or Telegram, and just text. And I would like to. Obviously, number one, thank my friend for finally convincing me to get this application.
Hello, I'm Toby. I'm 23 years old and I've been playing VR chat for about 2 years now, and it has improved my life quite a bit. I've had a great experience on here. I've been doing this for a while now, and I'll say about a year ago, maybe less, I bumped into Rhaegar through a Telegram and a social meetup. We've been playing VR chats ever since, and it's been pretty good. We're playing a lot on Friday nights and drinks, and playing games, so just hanging out, and everyone seems to be having a good time. We're always expanding our community, and just, well, always open arms for everyone. We've been having an amazing time on here, and we would love it if we had more on here. You know, it's always better to see new people and have new experiences.
Hi, I'm Alex. I've been in VR for a couple years now, since around 2018, but I never really had the courage to try out VR chat. So most of my time was spent in single player games, Beat Saber, whatever. And I first actually tried VR chat in the lead up to Virality Luma back in 2021. And I think of that decision, like joining the new player nights in the lead up to that event, as one of the single best decisions of my life. And I feel like that kind of set off a chain reaction that's made me a completely different person from who I was back then. I just vividly remember this one moment where I was just sitting on the go screen, like as the world was loading for the first time, and I was just terrified. I was literally shaking a bit, and I was just debating, should I do this, should I not, what do I do? And I ended up just clicking go. Just made a decision. One of the first things that happened when I loaded it to the world was I was just surrounded by a bunch of people, and they were talking, and I was scared. I was horrified. I had no idea what to do. I should just talk to people. And there was someone over off to the side. I had no idea what they were doing. Like, I could clearly see them moving around, but they weren't talking. And I was a little confused. I just asked, hey, what's going on? I can't hear them. Are they saying something? And turns out they were mute. I had never met a person who was mute before. And it turns out they had a special prop on their avatar to let them draw in the world. And because I was new, I had no idea how to change my shader settings and things like that. So, one of my first memories of VR chat is just all of these people coming together to help me figure out how I can change my settings, how I can, let's see, interact better with other people in the world. And from there, I was very, very quiet back then. It's hard for me to talk to people. So I didn't talk too much that night. But we had a few good conversations with a couple different people that night. And we decided, hey, we should meet up during the actual convention. I didn't know it at the time, but one of the people I had met on that very first night would end up becoming my boyfriend. Because we had met during that new player night, we had a little bit of a connection. And as we spent more time throughout the convention, just discovering the amazing worlds together, it was a mind-blowing experience. It completely just opened my eyes to the wonders of VR. Interacting with other people in VR chat. Well, after that, we spent a lot of time together. A few of the people I'd met at the convention, we would just meet up every once in a while, hang out. But I was still very nervous about joining other people in like Friends Plus worlds or more public lobbies. But it's still a challenge for me, but I feel like slowly, as I've spent more and more time getting to know people, getting to experience the community, I just felt more and more comfortable putting myself out there. But then, at the end of 2021, we had another life-changing moment in VR. It was at Morality Legends. I was just hanging out in the club world one night with a couple of friends, and for some reason, I decided to just play around with these settings on my avatar. Long story short, I ended up discovering I was trans by playing around with my avatar in VR. It's like the avatar I already had set up for the convention. It was something that I had already had a connection with, so I could see it as me. So when I changed the settings, changed a few blend shapes, and looked in the mirror, I just had this moment of realization. Oh my god, that's me. It was terrifying, but also unbelievably amazing. Like I finally had an answer to feelings that had been bugging me for as long as I can really remember. That set me on a journey to where I am today. Like, started hormones. I come out to my friends and family in real life. And that's all thanks to the experiences I've had here in VR chat. Like, the first people I told about what I was feeling were in VR chat. Like, this felt like the safest place for me to experiment with different presentations, different pronouns, because this place, it lets you express yourself in any way you can imagine. Like you can, like all these avatars, like you can customize them however you want. And just reflect yourself, however you think fits. And it's mind blowing to me. Not just for my experiences, but getting to meet other people, seeing how they express themselves, and all the massive creativity that goes into worlds like these too. It's been a major inspiration in my life. Like I've started making my own avatar textures, like this one, from different props and clothing. But all of that is thanks to all creativity we're surrounded by. Like all these worlds are made by people in our communities that we can interact with.
My name is Searing. I run around in quite a variety of avatars. Most people know me for my Skull Dog avatars. But I try to go like a little bit friendlier faces for the gym and whatnot because, you know, some people will get sometimes freaked out by the Skull Dog and whatnot. So I kind of go with little cuter models. But, you know, I've been in VR chat since, oh lord, late 2019. Started off in, you know, small little community, small little friends, whatever, like early college years and, you know, pre-COVID, and, you know, just had a nice little family of friends and whatnot. And then, you know, whenever COVID hit, yeah, Lord, you know, the world kind of went down the drain for a little bit. And how this all started, Lord, we started out as a group of 6 friends that kind of just wanted to check in on each other. And we started just doing simple little workouts just once a week. And then kind of the word started spreading. And then, you know, like every week we had like another person show up and more and more and more until we needed our own like, little gym world. And from there is just history. It grew word of mouth. We had a little viral tweet that went out around the same time that Mark Zuckerberg kind of lied about having legs in the metaverse. That was a fun time. We got to bash on him. But yeah, what we do here is completely free, and like it's kind of just been my passion project. It's always been like my goal in life and my passion to absolutely just, you know, help people better themselves in any way possible, physically, mentally, diet, whatever. Like you can literally ask anyone that knows me that like I'm always putting out my 100%, and Lord, do I need a break from doing so. But like I love being that positive role model for people. And you know, sometimes it's hard to see like for myself because I'm always pushing myself super hard. But you know, people tell me all the time that they look up to me, that like, you know, people earlier were calling me, you know, like a final boss when it comes down to it. And it's both a compliment but also kind of like a bit of a warning sign to myself that I am working really, really hard. But I love doing this. It's like I wouldn't ask for anything else. It's like if I could not have to worry about money like ever again in my life, I would do this every single day. Like I love waking up every day and hanging out with this like wonderful group of people, getting to do this with my best of friends, and like I don't know, VR chat's just so special. Like I am a certified trainer. I do take on my own personal clients for money. That is my job, is that I do work out with people. It's what I do. I went from years of being a mechanic to a bartender, not understanding where I wanted to be. I went through college for like forensics and anthropology and all this big science stuff. COVID happened and plans fell through, so I'm kind of just like, you know, what's the next best thing that I can do with my life that will help people? And this is what I came up with. Lord, and like, how has VR chat helped me as a person? VR chat has been a wonderful tool to help me understand like my potential as a person. Because growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends or anything. I was always just like the quiet, smart kid in class that kind of just kept to themselves and never really was a bother. But it was very lonely. When I got into VR and I started doing VR chat, hanging out with people, I didn't know what to do. I was outside of my realm of comfort, and a lot of times I was just sitting in the back of the room, kind of just existing, being a little wallflower, just like, you know, in and out of conversations, just using it as a place to kind of relax from the stresses of life, especially, you know, with like college or then COVID happened again. It's been really the Kickstarter for a lot of this. A lot of people can probably attest to that as well. Whenever COVID happened, a lot of people got on VR. But it made it possible for me to find people that are genuine outside of just being like shallow and like how they look or what they do and all that stuff. People come onto this platform to just hang out, be themselves, let loose. Sure, they might put on avatars, which is like people could say putting on a mask and putting on a character and whatnot. But a lot of times when you meet the right people, and there's a lot of people out there that do this, that just take off their masks. Sure, they're in their avatars, they're in their personas, or they're, you know, avatars, whatever. Doesn't matter what community you're in. If you're trying to just be yourself, it really doesn't matter what you look like, how you represent yourself, whatever character you use. You being you is the most important part. Be genuine not only to yourself, but to others. And that took a while for me to learn. It took me a long time to get out of my shell, find my voice, get comfortable talking in front of people. Lord, public speaking was one of my worst nightmares, and now I do it every day. I don't know. I found my family here. It's helped me through a lot of mental issues and a lot of other things. It's helped me reach so many people in a positive manner. It's helped a lot of people reach me in a positive manner. I've met some of my bestest, closest friends that I would have never have known, and wouldn't, you know, want to live any day without them through VR. Like it's a wonderful place, and I wish there was a better way for me to explain the experiences that I have had, because a lot of times words can't do it justice. Through all like the heartache, heartbreak, love, passion, there's been fights and disputes and drama all the time, and you know, that's how life is. You gotta deal with it. It's a whole social system, but there's a lot of good that outweighs and outshadows the bad that happens, especially in like you find a good community, good set of friends, whatever. And I know public lobbies are scary and whatnot, but you know, sometimes you gotta start somewhere. You find some people that you really click with, and you can really go a long way. You can create such amazing things, whether it be communities, worlds, avatars, music. You can make whole conventions. It's limitless to the imagination. So VR chat has completely molded, and I've modeled my life after it, and you know, I'm still healthy, I'm happy, I don't really need to leave the house much. And people say, you know, go out, go hang out with people. I'm like, I do that every day. I watch movies, I sit down, I have dinner with friends in VR, we do experiences, I travel, I go see friends. It's a wonderful time. What do you think of the positivity that brings to the community? Positivity, Lord. So bringing positivity to community is important, especially in like dire times that we're in. The world is crazy, and sometimes people, you know, they need to escape from it, escapism or whatever. It's one thing to escape from your worries. It's another thing to try and pay forward positivity. Again, like I said earlier, there's a lot of drama that happens. I mean, like what this does, what we do here with the gym and everything, it's, you know, mental positivity, it's physical positivity, it's body positive. Like, people come here, they're in their avatars, they're comfortable with what they look like here, and a lot of struggles of what people go to trying to go to the gym. They don't have good mental positivity about themselves and what they look. They feel like they're gonna be like shunned and all this stuff from going to the gym. Here, there's a place where there's no judgment at all whatsoever. You can come in desktop, you can stick on stream, you can do whatever. But finding positivity is hard. And a lot of times people burden themselves, you know, like myself, with spreading the positivity. There's a lot out there. A lot of times it's hidden, or, you know, it's like sometimes like backhanded or whatever, or like positivity is a delicate process of understanding. You have to understand the struggles that people have gone through. You have to put aside differences with people, and you have to meet everyone on neutral ground. Sure, you can be vain about yourself, you can be a little narcissistic, whatever, and, you know, it's positivity for yourself, sure. But that a lot of times can, you know, just on a subvert level, not be positive towards other people. And treating everyone as though you would want to treat yourself. People hear it all the damn time, but it really, really does make a difference if you actually treat people with respect. You talk to them, you understand their struggles, whether it be through their, you know, their youth, their raising. Race issues are still a thing no matter where you go. Yet you have to respect everyone. As much as you want respect for yourself and the way you want to identify yourself and how you want to be treated, you have to take the same accountability towards everyone else. This was a learning thing I had to do because, again, I have to deal with people that are overseas. They have to deal with things I have no idea are going on in, like, just social aspects of the world, other, like, socioeconomic stuff. It's absolutely wild, the amount of things that you can learn in a amount of time. And it's daunting, it's scary, but keeping a positive head about it and just always trying to do the best, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. It's honestly, it's a wonderful way of living, even though sometimes stressful. Again, it feels like a burden sometimes. But yeah, like, I always say it at the end of my workouts: be the change you want to see in the world. Go let somebody that you know, that you love and care about them, and that you're worth it every single day. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are worth it. And, you know, others might not see it, but as long as you believe it in yourself, that you can do it, you can be the change you want to see, you can change yourself. It doesn't really matter big or small, how small of a difference, as long as every day you get up and try. That's all that matters. And, you know, that's how I live my life.
That I could learn to find love for myself. I always knew that I would never see your smile again. But now I feel that I could stand to find 1,000 more. And you should know that I've been given one more chance to see that I can find the friend that I'd always wished I had. And I want you to know I'm not alone. And I want you to know I'm not alone. And I want you to know, please don't forget that I'm not alone.